Hello and good evening, treasure hunters and history hunters. Here we are this evening on our guest evening. And our guest this evening is Marc Hoover from Adventures in History, the USA. Now, Marc's been on a few times and we've had a good laugh and a good update on his information. But this time we're going to get an update on what he's been finding and what he's been up to. Let's go get hold of Marc and see what's going on.
Hey,
Hi, Marc. You all right, mate?
Hey, how you doing?
Brilliant, pal. Great to have you back on the show. So what machine have you got now then?
Well, right now I'm using the MindLab Manticore.
Oh, yes.
And I just won an Equinox 900.
Just like me.
And believe it or not, I kept the very first machine that I bought 12 years ago. I still use an AT Pro, Garrett AT Pro.
Good machine. Good machine, mate. They're good machines. Waterproof as well, I think I've been told. Yeah. So, okay, right. What have you been up to then? What history have you been finding? What you've been doing? Give us a rundown.
I tell you what, I don't even know where to start, John. I've been all over the place.
Okay.
I've been everywhere but Europe.
Is it going to be your next stop? He's going to come and visit me, I hope.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, 2024. I'm coming to England.
It's coming over. It's coming over.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I can't wait to come over. I'm going to come over.
Be an exciting time if you can over, mate. So, what history have you been finding then?
Okay, so I've been in Arkansas. I've been in Texas. I've been in New Jersey. I've been in Utah. I've been all over the place. But finding coins. Oh, I'm finding something very, very, very special. A lot of fossils.
Yeah.
And the fossils are in, riverbeds. They're freshwater riverbeds, but
Nice.
These are ocean animals. So I decided I wanted to go look for some arrowheads, some Native American arrowheads.
Yep.
And I found one, and a guy that found out it was my very first one took it and he put it in a really nice display, and I'm going to show you the display.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it, mate?
If you look, that's the arrowhead. That's in Florida. And then he put all these little things around it.
Beautiful.
And then if you notice that card, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But that's my latest find right there.
That's nice, though. How old is that then, Marc? How old?
Well, these are like 3,000 to 5,000 years old.
Whoa.
So you guys find a lot of old stuff in England?
We do.
But, these arrowheads go all the way back to 10,000 years old. So really.
That is awesome. Brilliant.
I'm going to show you one other thing. Is one of these.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a megalodon tooth.
A megalodon, that's right. Beautiful.
Yeah, megalodon were like 60 million years ago, I think. 60, 9 to 60. But they were 600.
Like. I think it's 600, I think.
It may be, but the megalodon was up to like 50 tons, 60 feet long. A megalodon could eat a great white.
Yeah.
That's how big they were.
Yeah. I mean, look at the size of that.
Now, let me tell you something funny about this. I sent 2 of them back to England.
All right.
Yeah. So when I went to the Garrett Memorial Hunt this year in April, and we had a very, very special guest from England. You know who it was? Digger Dawn.
Oh, Digger. How did she come over?
Yeah, she came over. And
that's nice.
I gave her a megalodon tooth to take back.
Wow.
And I sent one over for this is with Tim Saylor from the Diggers.
Oh,
and
nice.
they had a set of cards, baseball cards. There's 12 of them. And my buddy Gary Penta from metaldetecting.com does all the little miniature detectors.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. So we kind of wormed our way into getting our own little card. So I'm number 13, and Gary's 14. So now there's 14 cards in the set. So if you get the whole set, you got to get 14 cards. The most interesting metal artifact, and I don't have it with me, but I'm going to tell you about it. My son lives in South Florida, and I was going down to visit him. And when we were down there, there was a guy that was standing next to us when we were talking, and he said, "Hey, do you have an underwater metal detector?" And I said, "Oh, by the way, I do." And I said, "Why do you ask?" And he said, "Because 6 years ago, I lost my wedding ring over in that pond over there."
All right.
And I said, "Really?" And he said, I said, "You want me to go try to find it?" And he said, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So I went out there, and he was standing next to me, and I looked for about an hour, and I finally got a good signal in about 4 feet of water. But I also noticed at 5 feet there was a sharp drop off, so I was afraid that the ring had rolled down deep water.
Whoa, yeah.
So I got a really good signal, and it's a white gold ring, and I heard something rattling in my scoop when I was bringing it up, and I started smiling, and I reached down in there, and I saw this ring down in there, and I noticed it's his ring. It's got to be his ring or whatever. So I pulled it up, and he's smiling at me. I'm smiling at him. And I took the ring and I put it in his hand, and I closed his hand, and he opened it up and looked at it, and he went, "Mark, this isn't my ring."
Oh.
So he took the ring and gave it to my son. And now my son wears that ring.
All right.
As so because I found it.
Yeah,
so he wore it on a chain. So because it's in deeper water, we're going to go back, and we're either going to scuba dive or we're going to take a Nemo.
Okay.
And we're going to go look for his ring again. So I found a ring. So that was kind of an interesting recovery, right?
Yeah.
But I was up in New Jersey. Now you'll like this. We got the opportunity to hunt Spy Hill. Now, why is Spy Hill important? Well, Spy Hill during the Revolutionary War with England, of all places, Spy Hill was where the British regiments camped.
All right.
And they call it Spy Hill because they had spies up there watching all the activity down on the harbor. Anyway, we got an opportunity to hunt there. I found a few relics. I didn't find anything what I would call special, but there were some nice old coins that were found, a few old relics and things like that. So that was a lot of fun.
How far back the coins, Mark?
Oh, like there was a late 1700
half penny.
Yeah, penny found out there.
George III or George I or George III. Yeah, George II is around about 7.
Yeah, like what they call a copper or
copper half pennies.
Yeah, something like that.
Or it could be a penny, because I mean the pennies are massive. They really are massive. They're an ounce of copper, you know. But anyway, oh wow! So you ran. Oh, so that's a good period, isn't it?
Yeah, so we, everywhere I've been, and it's not always what you're looking for. We find relics, you find coins, you find, it's funny. I'll tell you another quick funny story. So I was metal detecting in Alabama.
Okay.
We went to called the Alabama Gold Camp, and the reason we were there, this is going to be interesting for you guys in England.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Mine Lab Masters of Metal competition?
No.
Okay. They introduced it this year in the United States.
Okay.
And they had 4 regional competitions around the United States. And then they had the final in October in Alabama at the Alabama Gold Camp. And what they did was they took the top 3 teams of each of the regionals came to Alabama to compete to become the number 1 team Masters of Metal.
Okay.
And it was like a day-long competition, and it was really tough. I was a judge in the regional in Orlando, and we had 3 teams from Florida went to Alabama, and so it was a really well put together competition. And so the 4 regional first, second, and third place, 10 teams went up to Alabama and competed. And then the team from New Jersey won the whole thing.
Oh.
But here's a token from the Masters of Metal.
That's smart, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, a beauty.
Yeah,
Isn't that
now
nice?
there's the back part of it.
Oh, that is nice.
Now the winners of the competition got a MindLab Manticore. Second place got a 900, and I think the third place got an Xterra Pro.
Okay.
Plus a pinpointer. Now here's why it's important for you guys. Next year, I think it's going to become an international competition. And what they're going to do is they're going to have the different countries will compete. And what they're going to do is try to bring them all together for an international winner, right? So if it takes off, I'm pretty sure it's going to be international. But this year it was just the United States.
Yeah.
And my wife and I went up. We were the judges for the Florida competition. But we went to Alabama for the finals, which was amazing. It was just an amazing place. And my wife doesn't metal detect, but she likes to dig in the, she likes to dig for bottles, buttons.
Bottle digger. Yeah.
We went to a diamond mine stuff. So she was down by the river where they do sluicing for gold, gold nuggets.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, nice.
And the guy said, "Hey, do you know you can find garnets in this river? Little garnets."
Yeah.
And she said, "No." And he said, "Well, let me show you how to find them." So she was down there, and next thing I know, she's got a whole pile of garnets that she found. And everybody else saw what she was doing. They started all coming down and getting all around her. And so one of the guys took a shovel, and he said, "I'll just start shoveling into your little screen, and y'all can each screen for garnets."
Oh, I see.
So about the third scoop, he scoops it in, and he looks down in there, and he goes, "Oh my, there was an arrowhead sitting right on top of the shovel."
Oh, you believe
So
it?
the Native Americans, they would live or down by the river.
Yes.
And so a lot of those artifacts and things are. So when he took that scoop, he pulled an arrowhead right out without even knowing it was there.
Wow.
And my wife came home with a jar full of garnets.
That is nice. I like gemstones.
Yeah. And then we have a tumbler, so we tumble and polish them all.
Oh, yeah, it's that is fascinating. So it just shows, doesn't it? So you're looking for one thing and you get something else. That is brilliant.
You never know. Like I got a friend right now, Brandon Sutton up in Arkansas. He's renovating an old movie theater. Okay. That was a building before a movie theater.
All right. Yeah.
And now when they're pulling out the floorboards, they're pulling out old coins, old dollar bills, all kinds of stuff down in underneath the floor.
That's right. I'm coming over. I love stuff like that.
Your buildings are older than ours.
Yeah, we don't have that over here. It's all gone a long time ago. Somebody's beaten us to it.
Yeah, but so you just never know. But see, for me, John, it's all about the adventure.
Of course it is.
I don't know what I'm going to find, but I always meet somebody that becomes a good friend. I learn something. We have a fun time.
That's right.
And then you make friends, and it's just wonderful. Plenty of stories to tell.
Adventures in Friends. Now, have you seen any of my videos with my latest friend?
Which one?
Okay, the latest friend is a name you'll never forget.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
No, I haven't seen that one.
You're gonna get on.
That's his real name, but not the Michael Jackson.
Yeah. He's a professional business speaker, international. He's been over in the USA about 3 weeks ago on a business tour. He actually goes to touring big corporate companies and advertise them how to run the business, believe it or not. And he likes metal detecting. Can you believe it? Honestly,
that's awesome.
And when me and him get together and start doing some presentations and talks, oh, it's absolutely what a joy of. We both. It's like a fun teamwork. It is. We really do. Well, and if you look him up, he's the other. His name is the other Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just look that up.
The other Michael Jackson.
He's got his own channel and everything. He's a professional speaker. I mean, when you see him talking, you just can't believe it. He's just absolutely professional and.
Metal detect?
Yes. Oh, yes. He metal detected over there, and then when he came over here, he had an 800. And then I met him in a park, so I was doing a bit of a chat about a historical park, and he's walking the dog, and I'm talking to him, and he says, "Can you show me how to work this 800?" And that's it. Me and him, best buddies now. You got to look at some of the videos. In fact,
we're gonna have to get him into a very special book that you and I know about.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, but go on.
All right.
Yes.
Beneath Our Feet. That picture right there is in England.
I like that book. And there's a reason why.
And we're going to talk about why in a minute, right? All right. The author is Ken Cunliffe. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, Ken. Yeah, that's correct. Ken.
Now, Ken called me about 3 or 4 months ago, and he said, "Mark, I'm writing a book, and I'm going to put 50 people in it."
Yeah.
He said, "I want you to be in the book." I said, "Ken, why do you want me in the book? There's 100 people that should be in that book before me." He said, no, I want you in the book. So we started talking, and he's got, people from England, from all over.
I think I just seen Digger Dawn. He's got Digger Dawn in, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to show you right now.
Yeah, he's got Digger Dawn in.
Dawn Chipchase. Got Chris Langston in there. Yeah. So she's in volume 1. So there's 50 in here. Now, when he was doing the book, he found out that I did a little bit of writing. So he said, "Hey, I don't want to ask you this, but would you consider he was asking me, would I consider writing the foreword for the book?" So I wrote the foreword, and I told him, see right here, it's everything's backwards, so I got to figure this out right here. Marc Hoover, Adventures in History.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when he asked me to write it, this is really, really important. When he asked me to write it, I said, "Ken, I'll write it, but I want you and your wife to read it. If you don't like it, don't use it. Please don't use it." And I said, "What I want you to do is I want you to send me the introduction first. I'll read your introduction, and then I'll write my foreword based on your introduction." And he told me, he said, "Listen, if you think I should improve the introduction, you just tell me what I should change." I read his introduction. John, this is the best introduction to metal detecting that I've ever read, ever. It talks about the mindset of a metal detectorist. It talks about the physicality of being a metal detectorist. So everybody who gets this book should read the introduction first.
Can you read it?
Well, I'll read a little bit of it.
Oh, come on, man.
So I'm just going to read the first paragraph, okay?
Okay.
Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of the ground we walk upon? What lost treasures, long forgotten relics, and stories of the past are waiting to be discovered? The hobby of metal detecting holds the key to unlocking a world of wonders buried beneath our feet. It is a pursuit that connects us to history in a profound and tangible way, weaving a thread through time and allowing detectorists to become time travelers. And it just goes on for about a page and a half. And at the very end, he says, however, metal detecting is not without its challenges and ethical responsibilities. Detectorists understand the importance of responsible digging, leaving no trace behind, and obtaining proper permissions to search on private lands. We recognize the significance of preserving archaeological sites, collaborating with professionals, and reporting significant discoveries to protect our shared heritage. Within these pages, we celebrate incredible finds unearthed by passionate detectorists around the world, offering a glimpse into the hidden treasures that lie beneath our feet. Ken Cunliffe, detectorist.com.
Now, is there any special pictures in there that might be significant in volume? Is it volume 2?
Yeah. I'm just getting ready to get to that. Hot off the press. This is brand new, hot off the press, right?
Okay.
I just got this like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I turned to page 72. Guess who's in there?
Ta-da! It's me!
Tell everybody about that find there, John.
Love it. I love it. That's a Bronze Age votive offering accent. Oh, 4,000 euro. Brilliant. Oh, that is awesome. What a story. I know oh, that's brilliant, that. Eh? Oh, I'm pretty chuffed that Ken put me in. I am. I'm really made up, honestly. That was really kind of him.
Wow. Well, we're already planning for 2024. And of course, I'm KG and Ringy from the Diggers. They were on National Geographic for 3 years. And so we've been talking to them about coming over to England. And Ken comes over to England Ken Cunliffe comes over, I think, every spring and fall.
Oh.
And we were trying to work it out to come over in the fall together, but we weren't able to do it. So Ken and I are probably going to come back in 2025, but I'm going to come over next year in October with KG, Ringy, Gary Penta, Rich Swoger, Lance LaFan. We got a group that's coming over in October, and we're just excited out of our mind. We can't wait to get over there.
I've just got the feels for you. Don't you worry about that one.
I'm not worried about it at all. We're excited about that. And so
my mate Scott found Roman, medieval. He did really well. So did I, but yeah.
So
exciting time.
Yeah. So what, I don't. So the first thing I think that's coming up next year is we have Florida Hunt 10 in February.
Okay.
And that's put on by Greg Papalo. And Greg is up in Gainesville, Florida. And the reason they do Florida Hunt is it's actually on a piece of property that is it's called Camp Freedom, and it's designed to support our military veterans.
Oh,
and our military veterans, when they come back, they need places to have relaxation. So they have horse riding, they have fishing, and so they've opened it up to metal detecting on this 300-acre property. I think it's even bigger than that now. Anyway, we do metal detecting. The manufacturers come, we raise money, and we support Camp Freedom. And this year they're going to open up some brand new property that's never been detected before. Ooh. And so all the personalities from here are going to come in, and we're going to be a part of that. So that's our first event coming up in February.
Oh, I'd love to come over to one of these events. One of these
days,
I've got to come over, Mark. I've got to come over.
You need to come over
there. I've been invited with so many people to come over, but I've got to start saving up because it isn't cheap to come over, unfortunately.
No. And, I travel so much for my work that a lot of times what I use is I use frequent flyer miles to be able to travel.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we have another event coming up in Illinois. It's up in northern U.S. It's called Detecting the Heartland.
Okay.
It's a beautiful event. It's put on by Casey and Mindy Oberruder. And when they put on that event, they announce it 2 weeks in advance. Okay, this is where we're going to go in 2024. This is where we're going to hunt. And when the day that they post it, it sells out in less than an hour.
Wow. Nice.
So we went this past year. We had a great time. So
how many people turned up then?
I think they limit it to like 200 people.
Well, that's enough.
But they raise money for charity.
Yes.
That's the thing that I like. Now, Art Club, for example, well, let me go back to detecting the heartland. We went to a Boy Scout camp this year, and people were finding old coins, old for the U.S., silver dollars, silver dimes, things like that. And then I found a couple of the old neckerchief slides, which are kind of cool. The old Boy Scout slides?
Yeah. We
I
found
found a couple of those. That was one of the things I found this year. And I actually listened to this. They planted hammered silver coins from England. They planted them in the seeded hunt. Well, I didn't know that they had planted them. And so whatever the signal was, I was looking for a higher number, and I went right over them.
Yeah, they're very thin.
So
they are so thin, honestly.
The guy came and he said, look, I got 2 or 3 of these hammered, they're those little really thin ones, right?
Yeah, they're really thin, small things.
And he really wanted one of the neckerchief slides.
Awesome.
I had 2 of them. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll trade you my neckerchief slide for one of those hammered coins. So we traded. So I got a neckerchief slide and a hammered coin.
You got hammered. Yeah. Do you know which king it is then? You have to investigate now.
I don't know. I got to do that. Now, in the U.S., the Garrett Memorial Hunt used to be every year. And we had it this year, which was a lot of fun. It's always in Texas. But they're going to do it. They're not going to do it in 2023. They're going to do it every other year. So the Garrett Memorial Hunt will be in 2025 now.
All right. Awesome.
And then we have another event. It's called Treasure Fest, and it's in Arkansas. And it's an amazing location because it used to be It used to be an area where there was a lot of Indian artifacts. And it's called Kadoha Indian Village, and they put on a hunt every year, and I think they're making a really special. I can't say anything because I know what they're going to do, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. But they're going to do it again in October, and they're going to do some really special stuff. But this year we went, and I met a very, very special person there. I meet a lot of special people, right?
I've noticed that.
And we were there, and I was talking to this older gentleman, and he clearly knew all about metal detecting. And I knew who he was, but I had never talked to him before. And he said, hey, have you ever hunted on this property before? And I said, yeah, 2 or 3 times. And he said, well, can I hunt with you? And I said, sure, let's go hunt. So we hunted together for 2 straight days.
Whoa.
We told stories, we told jokes, we hunted, we encouraged each other. Well, that was Murray Crow. Kind of like Michael Jackson. Murray Crow has been hunting for over 50 years, metal detecting.
Wow.
And he's invented stuff. And he's on a television show now called Duck Family Treasures.
Oh.
And it's from the Robertson family. They did Duck Dynasty. I don't know if you all got it over in England, but
no,
they did a show called Duck Dynasty, and now some of the Robertsons got interested in metal detecting. So they started a TV show called Duck Family Treasures, and Murray is the expert.
Oh.
And they always bring their finds to him, and he tells them what it is. Now, what's interesting about Murray is here's a really interesting story. Murray invented a giant metal detector. And when I say giant metal detector, this thing's like 12 feet long, 8 feet wide, and it's made out of PVC pipe. And he gets on a farmland and he drags it behind an ATV.
I think I've seen this.
Yeah, he drags it. Now, the reason he does that is because he's on land that, some of the finds are like 5, 6, 7, 8 feet down.
Yes.
So they did an episode where they were looking for meteorites.
Oh.
Well, when those meteorites hit, sometimes they go way down in there. So he got a signal, and instead of digging them with shovels, they got a backhoe, and they dug down about 8 feet. and they found a meteorite about this big.
Wow.
Using and he named the metal detector after his wife Sheila,
Oh.
but he calls the metal detector Big Sheila. So he drags Big Sheila behind this ATV, and they get stuff way down in the ground. So Murray and I hunted in Arkansas for 2 straight days. We were pulling out coins, relics.
Wow.
And so I said, Murray, do you know what the first law of metal detecting is? He said, no, I don't know what it is. And I said, all right, the first law of metal detecting is if you're not going to find something good, make sure you look good not finding it.
I like it. When it says messages, click the messages, and there's a load.
Okay. I'm looking at it now. Okay, now I see it.
I mean, half of these people, I mean, they're probably your friends. I don't know. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Ken's on there. Frank's on there. Frank is
going to be. Frank's on. Oh, look, Frank. Yeah, I know Frank.
Yeah, my buddy James Opar is in book. He's in volume 2 with you.
You're right.
So James is on there. Yeah, and Frank is in there too. Let me show you Frank.
That's brilliant, man.
There's old Frankie.
Oh, Frank in as well. Well done, Frank. He's in there. Hey.
And remind me to tell you a story about this 2 real, okay?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm going to show you another picture in here. My buddy James, he's in there now. James Opar's in there.
Right.
He's in Idaho.
All right. Okay.
And I met him at a old gold mining ghost town in Idaho where we hunted together.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they're all your mates in the book.
A lot of friends. It's great.
So,
he's great, isn't it, Mark? Honestly, isn't it great? You meet so many fascinating, interesting friends, even across the pond. You're meeting good friends.
Well, yeah, we do, and I love it. People I meet in the Netherlands and England and Germany and the U.S. So let me tell you a story about something that happened this year related to that 2 real. So Frank has his own show called Detective America. Yeah, right. And I was listening to the show a couple of years ago, and I won a 2 real from Frank from that same. It was from the same place that's in this book.
Oh, okay.
And I was wearing it. And my wife and I went down to the Panama. We did a Panama Canal cruise on a cruise ship.
Oh, nice.
And one of the excursions is we got on a bus and drove 2 hours, and then we got on a canoe and we drove another half an hour and went down a river to meet. Believe it or not, we were meeting a tribe in the middle of the jungle in Panama.
Yes.
And I had that 2 real, and we were there, and they were selling all of their stuff that they make. And I noticed that the men had these beautiful necklaces. And I was like, that's what I want right there. I want one of those necklaces. And they weren't selling them. Like, hey, these are personal. Like the one he had was made for him by his father.
Oh, wow.
And I found out that his father is the chief of the tribe, and his grandfather was the chief at one time. And I said, hey, is there any chance I could, buy that from you? And he looked at me, had this like look, and he's like, my father made that. But they don't speak English. He spoke broken Spanish. I spoke broken Spanish. And he said, wait, I come back. Wait. 20 minutes later, he comes back and he goes, follow me. So I followed him and I grabbed my wife and I said, come with me. And she had a jar of strawberry jam because we always take it with us wherever we go. She makes it. It's world famous. Aunt Gail's strawberry jam. I get people calling me saying, hey, I need some more jam. Anyway, so we go to his hut. I mean, literally, like it's in a tree, it's a hut. He wait. and he comes back out, and his wife is there with her little baby. So we gave her the strawberry jam, and he says, he's holding up one of the necklaces that he had just made, and he was going to let me buy it from him. And I said, okay, I'm going to give him some money, but I'm also going to do something really special. So I had Gail take off my necklace with the 2 real on it, and I showed it to him. And he's looking at it, and he's studying it. And it was 1781. So I said, Uno, ocho, siete, uno, 1781. And he hands it back to me. And I said, let me have your, I grabbed his hand and I put the coin in and I closed his hand and I said, this is yours. So that 2 real is now down in the jungles of Panama.
Oh.
He will become the chief.
Yes.
And one day I would love to go back and see him, but I bet you on his necklace, that 2 real is on his necklace.
It'll be there, mate. And to remind him of you, Mark.
Well, I hope so. You know, we will always remember them, and you know, it's kind of that bond that you create with somebody when you meet them for the first time, and you share what you can share, even though you don't speak the same language.
Yes.
Right. And so I will always treasure that necklace, but more than that, I will treasure the time that we had together.
Yeah.
And after that, he took me around and showed me the rest of his tribe with the spears that they make for fishing. And it was just a very, very special hour. And then we had to leave. So we got back in the boats and we went back to civilization. And
great experience. A wonderful experience.
Now think about this. That 2 real came from the Spanish. It ended up in New Jersey. Frank found it. He sent it to me as a prize. I took it to the jungles of Panama, and it's now in the jungles of Panama. And that thing started, 200 something years ago.
Amazing. It's amazing, mate. You know, the history that we find, it gets passed about. Well, I'm hoping that when you do come over here, Mark, you're going to pick up some nice history that will remind you of me. Now, got any funny stories going out detecting, Mark?
And then, you know, just hunting with Murray was we just laughed the whole 2 days we were together.
Yeah.
You know, and I would tell him stories. I'd say, hey, Murray, you know what the second law of metal detecting is? And he said, no, I don't know what that is. I said, well, the second law of metal detecting is to swing high and fast. Make sure you take out the competition. Yeah, so you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it on Facebook. We need to come out with 10 laws of metal detecting, right?
Yes.
So I got about 3 of them, but I need help. I need people.
I'll help you with them.
I need people to write to me and say, hey, Mark, this should be one of the laws of metal detecting, you know, like, all right, the 3rd law of metal detecting is turn on your machine before you start metal detecting. I don't know if you've ever done it, but I went into a competition one time. I went 10 minutes without finding anything. And then I realized I didn't turn my machine on.
I think we've all done that. Another one is backtrack where you might have left your trowel. Have you ever lost your trowel?
You know, it's funny you say that because on the thing that I hold my trowel in, it falls out. So I took a piece of material that kind of, you know, wraps around and holds it on. Anyway, I set it up now so that I can't lose it anymore. All
right. Yeah. Well, I think the other one, always go out with a spare battery if you need batteries for you.
Well, you know, I tell you what, next time I come on your show, they in here, in my club, they call me the Gadget Geek.
That's good.
Because I'm always coming up with things, you know, like, what are you going to carry? Because I always have, you know, batteries. I got a I got stuff to, like, if somebody gets hurt, Band-Aids. I got medical equipment. I got a spare charger. I got a knife. I got a flashlight. All this stuff is in my pouch.
So do I. I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you something else I have. And let me just show you. Is a spare set of trousers, underpants, socks, jumpers, and t-shirt.
And toilet paper.
Flashlight, batteries, pen knife, multi-pen knife, you name it. It's like everything in there.
Yeah.
I've even got coffee, sachets. I always carry a spare banana.
But actually, that's good.
Honestly, I just carry loads of stuff with me because I have been caught out when it's been it's raining. I mean, when it pounces down in the middle of the field and you get drowned, you're not going to go home and get changed.
I have done the same thing. So I've been in areas where I've been down and I get the target and I watch it go down, like I watch it wash down the hill. I watch the target wash down the hill, going down with the water.
In a pool, yeah.
Yeah, in a pool of water. And I always carry a raincoat or whatever. But I'm gonna call you Gadget Geek number 2. Then we'll be number 1 and number 2.
Yeah. This has been brilliant so far. Now, if you want to come on again, later on, beginning of Jan, or we'll do another one. We'll do another show if you want, Mark.
Yeah, we can do another show sometime.
Continue, because it's been, a very, very interesting chat that we've been putting together, and I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot of things as well at the same time.
Yeah,
all detectorist chaps like ourselves, experienced, and
next time we come on, let's talk about detectors and all the stuff like you and I were talking about, the pinpointer, the new pinpointer, and all that.
That's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do then, we'll wrap up and say thank you very much for being on the show. You can
Christmas and buy that.
Yeah, that's what people need to be buying.
Right, Christmas. Thank you.
Well, that was absolutely superb. Having a good chat from my friend Marc Hoover from History. From Adventures in History group in the USA. Fascinating, interesting stories, and I'm sure we've got loads more interviews to do with my mate Mark, and loads more information, especially to help starter metal detectorists on my channel, and we can have a little chat about coming on and voicing your opinion and your updates on your group. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next week with another guest interview with another interesting friend.